In this quick lesson, we cover three shaders: flat, Lambert, and two-sided surface shaders. We have this very simple scene from one of our previous sections, but in this one I have deleted some of the polys on the sphere geometry so we can see the backside of these polygons. So let's start with a flat shader. From the Create menu, Arnold, Surface, and Flat. And let me assign it to our three objects and run the IPR. If I open up the flat shader, as you can see, it's a simple luminous color shader. There is nothing special going on here. You can define a color or use a texture. Okay, let me close this shader here. Next we have Lambert shader. So from the Create menu, let's create a Lambert shader and assign it to our three objects. Also open up the Lambert shader. And this is the default material or shader that Arnold uses when you have no material applied to an object. So if I delete all of these texture tags right now and keep an eye on IPR, we get the same result. So let me assign our Lambert shader again. You can change the diffuse or the base color, increase or decrease the diffuse or the base weight, and also alter the opacity using the opacity color, or have bump or normal mapping using the normal input. Finally, we have two-sided shader, which allows you to apply two different shaders to the back and front side of the polygons. You can find this shader in the surface submenu, and we need to open up the network editor and find it there. So let's create a new Arnold shader network, and from the material manager window, create menu shader, Arnold shader network editor, and open up the shader network by middle clicking on it. Now in the shader tree, if you come down to the surface section, down here you can find the two-sided shader. Let's drag it to the work area, and you can connect it to the Arnold Beauty manually or using the Alt-W V shortcut. Now this is our root shader. Let's apply our two-sided shader also to the sphere here. We have two options, front and back. I can use any shader or any texture for the front and the back polygons, or the back side, sorry. So for example, let's search for Lambert and drag a Lambert shader to the work area and connect it to the front input of the two-sided shader. And you can see the change in the IPR. Let's change the base color to this purple color. Let's maybe control drag this Lambert shader to create a duplicate and change its color. Let's just use the default white color and connect it to the back input of the two-sided shader. And you can see we are using two different shaders on front and the back sides of the sphere faces. So in this lesson we covered flat, Lambert, and two-sided shaders. See you in the next lesson to talk about another shader.